Good morning. Welcome to our absolutely wonderful Wednesday. Today is a morning of learning and are bringing to light a lot of new learnings and teachings our way. So let's embrace the day with the power of dreams programming, wherein we'll manifest our dream, our desire, and see it as coming true in a 1 minute of fluid movement, any kind of dance movement, exercise, or just basic movement. So let's go for it. More power to our dreams, more power to us and our manifestations. And now let's read this beautiful book, Refuse to Choose by Barbara Sher. So, in this book today, what we're going to learn is something very, very interesting, very beautiful. I won't do anything if I can't do everything. That entire programming of our brain, which says, कि पूरा perfection से करना नहीं तो करने का फायदा ही नहीं है. Half-hearted किया तो क्या किया? So that's also a conditioning which all of us have. And let's understand how to break this conditioning or how to understand this conditioning. So chapter number 6, I won't do anything if I can't do everything. I think I should find a new career, says Ralph, an unhappy engineer who came to see me. He wanted to know if he was in the wrong field and admitted that engineering had never thrilled him. What else have you considered? I asked. Well, maybe I could go into architecture, but that takes a lot of training and there are so many things that I might just do as well. How do you choose? Maybe you don't have to choose, I said, ready as I am with all scanners to help him see that he could, should, and do it all. Now, please remember, she's played these words beautifully, could, should, and do it all. So we could choose and we should choose and we should do it all. That's what scanners are all about, that they're always procrastinating. ये करूं, ये करूं, ये करूं, मुझे इसमें भी interest है, इसमें भी interest है. Good, interested, that's fine. That's just it. I don't choose, he says. I don't do anything at all. Ralph never got past daydreaming about things that interested him. He never took me step towards any dream. He never took one step towards any dream. Because to him, that meant giving up every other dream. If I pick architecture, I can't be a graphic artist. If I pick either of them, I can't be a lightning designer or writer or an inventor. Is this beginning to sound familiar? Have you ever felt stuck because the world is so full of fascinating options that choosing one, even something you really wanted with all your heart, would only make you feel deprived? As I said earlier, that's like starving in the candy store. But a lot of scanners do the same thing. I wish I could give 200 years, a young woman told me at a workshop. Maybe that won't be enough. Some people want to know a little bit about a lot of things, a man wrote on his bulletin board. And some want to know a lot about one thing. But I want to know a lot about everything. And I don't see how I can possibly get that in one lifetime. The one thing these people have in common aside is from believing that they want to do absolutely everything was that they were doing practically nothing that interested him. So we may believe कि हमें बहुत जगह interest है, लेकिन the reality is कि हम कुछ भी नहीं कर रहे उनमें से जिसमें हमें interest है. Instead of trying to find a way to squeeze in at least a few of the things they loved, they had pushed everything out of reach. And many, like Ralph, spend their days in activities that he didn't like at all. Now, why on earth would they make a choice like that? I was intrigued. You want to help me understand that, Ralph? If you'd been putting a little time into some of the things that interest you, he finished my thought. I know by now I should have written a novel. I started to get it. But then you won't have been able to do all the other things. Is that it? It's crazy, but that's crazy. That's exactly what stopped me. Ralph wasn't crazy by any definition I knew for the word. So there must have been some thinking behind his behavior resurrecting it. What did Ralph assume or take for granted that resulted in this illogical behavior? I would have to go snooping. I came up with some discoveries that set Ralph free and might help you too. If you're one of these people who think the very number of these things you want to do is huge, there's no point in doing any of them. If the sheer number of options before you has you overwhelmed, even paralyzed, even Ralph's behavior makes sense to you, then you too are depriving yourself of a lot of happiness for no reason. I think that might change in this chapter. First, let's look at how you got here. So a lot of us in life need to understand that we are procrastinating, need to do what we'd have to do, but we are not doing it. We're not choosing it. And we're like, no, we can't do it. So that is the reason why we are in this scanner mode, always judging ourselves, always being in that place where we have to be or can't be or don't know where to be. So we are always in a dilemma. ये करें, ये ना करें, ये नहीं हो रहा, अच्छे से नहीं हो रहा. So how did you get into this dilemma? Scanners, जो हम हैं, जो हर जगह jump करते रहते हैं, we can't come to conclusion, are actually very smart people. They're multi-talented people because they like so many things. They're so talented that they like a lot of things. How do so many of them get so stuck? So interviewing Ralph carefully, I saw some answers begin to emerge. The first and probably most influential reason was that he honestly believed there was absolutely nothing on the face of the earth that he was interested in. I understand part of this dilemma. I have to stop myself from buying more books than anyone can possibly read. Whenever I see a book that interests me, that doesn't interest me, I'm relieved. Oh my God, because he likes so many authors, so many books. My list of maddeningly desirable new subjects grows smaller every time I actually try them out. Please underline this line and understand. हमें लगता है हमें बहुत चीजें पसंद हैं, but हम उनको try नहीं करते. जब आप try करते हैं तो शायद वो small हो जाती हैं because आपको लगता है कि अरे इसमें इतना interest नहीं आया. तो at least आपकी list से बाहर हो जाती हैं. I figured if I could persuade Ralph to use my reality testing, he'd start seeing things differently. Very important for us to understand that all of us are on this journey to take this journey forward. So can you turn the page, please? I ventured, most people really aren't interested in everything. But even if you're interested in a huge number of areas, there are ways for you to taste them all, depending on what it is you want from them. That's where I am different. I've almost never seen anything that didn't interest me. You did say almost, I answered hopefully. It doesn't matter, he gave up. He said and came with the second reason that kind of scanner refuses to take a bite from this smorgasbord of things that he loves. I don't want to just do a little wine tasting. I want to go deeply into everything. That's just not possible. Life is like those nature that shows that cheetah comes on a herd of gazelles. If he went after all of them, like you said, I should go after all my interests, the cheetah would wind up with nothing. Barbara questions him. What if you just loved only those 2 dozen things? And what if you didn't try to make any of them into a career, You did things them in the evening and the weekends on vacations for years and years and years, and you really got deeply into them. Would you be willing to try them out? That way, you could keep your job until you found something you loved more. So did you read the pattern, what's happening? Well, Sounds nice. I'm not trying to be difficult, but I'm not interested in 2 dozen things or 200 things. Listen, my wife made me move 1,200 magazines out of the garage last fall because there was no place to walk in the hallways. I try to stop buying magazines, but there's always something on the cover that's just too interesting to pass up. When I get home, I read them cover to cover, and I just have to know a lot more about every single thing I read. Sometimes I think I'll go back to school and got some new training and go into a new field. And then I think, why am I doing this? This is going nowhere. But by now, I had a very good idea what was going on with him. Do you look a lot of women's magazines? I asked. Huh, no. Do you read sports magazines then? I see a lot of them in stores these days, fishing magazines, hunting magazines, quilting magazines. Okay, okay, he says. It's true. I'm not interested in absolutely everything. I'm a nut for technology magazines. He went on to explain that he'd seen an article about a new breakthrough in electrical lighting and be dying to know more. But when he turned to the next article about microscopic instruments being developed for surgery, he was equally intrigued. And so on with almost every article in the magazine. So basically, he's saying that he loves magazines, but ultimately he just likes one type of magazines. This is what all of us scanners do. We think hमें सब कुछ में interest है, but actually it's very narrowed down. Now, by the time I'm through, I'm so frustrated. There's just so much out there. It's so overwhelming sometimes. He said, it wouldn't matter which one I choose. So ultimately, he's agreeing, he's owning up. Or which one I choose or which 10 I choose, I still will end up disappointed because what's the point? So Ralph's mindset was कि मैं कुछ भी कर लूं, मुझे तो कामयाबी नहीं मिलने वाली है. I'm going to be disappointed. It's not going to work for me. Ralph was deeply disappointed, ironically, because life was so full of riches. Now, how do you fix that? What do you give the man who wants everything? So, well, maybe give him some secrets. Scanners don't really want everything. Scanners don't want the depth they imagine. I know 2 things, Ralph doesn't. One is that no one really wants to do everything. The other is that scanners are often confused about how much depth they actually want in one subject. Scanners who sincerely want to spend years burrowing deeply into something go ahead and do it. They're called serial specialists. You can read about them in part 2 of this book. But scanners who think they want to spend years doing something and end up doing nothing are suffering from what I call deprivation overshoot. They've been hungry for so long that they feel they've had to eat a whole lot to feel full, a whole ox to feel full. But the truth is that they can eat only till the stomachs can hold, no matter how hungry they are. The sad thing, this fantasy of getting as much as they want actually creates more deprivation. Because of it, they get nothing at all. जब बहुत सारा कुछ चाहिए होता है ना, तो कुछ भी नहीं मिलता. क्यों? Because आपको पता ही नहीं, your energy is helter skelter. You don't really know what it is. What is the reality? The reality is it doesn't take too much food, real food, to actually fill up an imaginary hunger a mile wide. I mean, like इतना कुछ ले सकते हैं, but actually इतना ही ले सकते हैं at one time. We think we can multitask. हम बहुत कुछ करना चाहते हैं. Multitasking में कुछ भी काम ढंग से नहीं हो पाता. पर वही अगर आप एक दिन में multitask करें कि this hour for this hour for this hour for this, something more will happen in every single journey. Barbara says she sensed that she could get Ralph out a bit late. She could get him to take a little bite of, his own fruit. We might, if that is possible, she says she felt that she might pull him out of this unfortunate cycling. Oh, I don't have this. I can't do this. So very important for us to understand. If you understand Ralph and know about the kind of self-imposed hunger, intellectual, creative, love of learning hunger, I'd like you to do an exercise. When you're done, we'll come back and work on getting you off your hunger strike. I promise that you not only will be able to go as deeply as you like into as many areas as you choose, but also just might run low and have to go shopping for some new interests. So point is, we all have a huge long list. We all are so into everything कि सब कुछ करेंगे, अच्छे से करेंगे, नहीं तो कुछ भी नहीं करेंगे. We all are into a dilemma all the time. कैसे करें? मुझे तो बहुत जगह इंटरेस्ट है. क्या करियर लेना चाहिए? क्या चीज करनी चाहिए? Because the end result is क्या करियर लेना है? Life में कैसे पैसे कमाने हैं? Like in Vedanta, they say, अगर लक्ष्य के पीछे भागो तो लक्ष्मी जी आ जाएंगी. पर लक्ष्मी जी के पीछे भागो और लक्ष्य नहीं पता हो, Tantan Gopal, nothing's going to work. So very important for us to wake up. Now, it's all right to be a scanner. In fact, it's good to be a scanner, which means you do have multiple interests. You have a zest for life. It's not like you're just going on one track. It's all right. It's good to accept that, okay, I haven't found what my calling is because probably I haven't gone inward. I'm looking for it externally, but it's all in me. Now, let's read about the scanner's big list. There's a book called 1,000 Places to See Before You Die. To a scanner, doing this is a lot more fun than merely seeing. So let's adapt that idea and see how many things you can think of you'd really love to do. The 1,000 things you believe you want to do before you die. I'd like you to write a more active list, not places you want to see, but interests you like to explore, things you want to do, learn about, make them, collect them, create them. Basically, you get the idea. Later, you'll be able to use this list when you actually have an empty period of time and can't decide what to do. But its purpose right now at the moment is much bigger. Do the exercise and you'll see what I mean. I tried it out with Ralph. So what do we all of us have to do today? We have to make our big list. Let's understand how she made Ralph understand. Write down all the things you think of that you'd love to know more about. So जिसमें जिज्ञासा है that you really want to, मुझे ये bungee jumping करना है या मुझे ये माउंटेन क्लाइंबिंग करना है या मुझे ये कोर्स करना है या मुझे शिवानंद योगा का टीचर बनना है या मुझे ये चीज सीखनी है या मुझे ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन सीरीज में ये चीज अपने लिए करना है. Whatever is your interest, just write this down. It's everything like I said, he answered. So हमें लगता है बहुत कुछ करना है, but when you put on paper, when you think on paper, it gives it a nice root, nice culture, nice feeling to it. Okay, it'll take a while. I have a lot of paper. Let's get started. He took about 10 minutes and wrote down 30 items or so on the sheet of paper. And he tried to remember some of the magazine articles that had intrigued him and came up with around another 20. I'm sure you'd come up with 100 more if you had your magazines here to look through. 200, he says. Okay, 200. Now we've got about 250. I was hoping we'd get to 1,000. He smiled. Well, I guess I'm not interested in everything, but 250 is still too many, right? And before I tell you the answer we came up with, try it out for yourself. तो हमें लगता है कि टाइम किसके पास है या लिखना है, वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम, कौन लिखेगा, मुझे तो इतना कुछ में इंटरेस्ट है. करो तो सही, करो तो जानो. Make your big list. Today, that's your assignment. So let's read it comfortably and let's understand that what are we supposed to do with that big list. So a lot of you have your Scanner D notebooks, right? In which you've been writing what you like to do and everything. So here we are, even if you haven't begun, today's your day one. Let's start it. Open up your new notebook, which you'll call the Scanner Day book, and give yourself 4 to 6 blank pages or get a large piece of paper as big as possible as you can to add to it at will. Then in the upper left-hand corner, writing as small as you can, begin a numbered list of anything and everything that interests you, that has ever interested you, or that might interest you in the future. If you live up to really the age that you want to, really do this. Because writing them down makes them real. And part of the problem has been that you've kept them somewhere in the fog of assumptions, where they are easy to lose. Think before you write any entry. I don't want you to write things like, I want to learn about African history, Asian history, European history, physics, math, quantum mechanics, Hungarian, one-to-one, Greek, etc. This isn't an exercise to see how many things you're going to be doing on Mother Earth, but an exercise to see how many things we really would enjoy spending our time with. We could include everything we really want and we have already. Everything you wish you could do for the first time, everything you wish you'd be doing all through the years to come. And you have a life to come, so you do have plans, right? Now that means before you make an entry, you must sit for a minute or so with your eyes closed, if you can, and imagine yourself actually involved in that activity in real time. Alternatively, you can write for 2 minutes in the present tense. I'm opening my book on medieval safety pins and reading the first page. It's about a crypt that was found in 1345. The afternoon passes and I'm still turning the pages. Be there as much as you possibly can. So जो आप करना चाहते हैं, जो हम मॉर्निंग में करते हैं, Power of Dreams programming, where we're manifesting, we're thinking that it's come true, we're enjoying that moment, that feeling. That's what we have to probably do in our Scanner Day notebook, right? Now, if the fantasy feels so good that you had hoped it passes a test, अगर excitement है, मजा आ रहा है, Then you can go on with the list. If it's scary but thrilling, it also goes on the list. But if just a title of some field that appeals to you, be sure to think about it carefully before you write it down. Why are we being told this? For example, अगर मैं बोलती हूँ मुझे ग्रीक हिस्ट्री पढ़नी है, हाँ जब मैं उसको मैनिफेस्ट करने का सोच रही हूँ कि अरे हाउ डज इट फील, मुझे ग्रीक हिस्ट्री आती है, अगर मुझे एक्साइटमेंट हो रही है, आई कैन सी the characters, the Cleopatras and everything, and I'm like, oh wow, the Greek culture is beautiful, oh this is what they're wearing, oh the Roman culture is beautiful, oh my Egyptian culture is beautiful. If you can think of those things exciting me, then that means it's a calling. But if I'm like, I don't know, then maybe it's not time to write that in the list. Now, if you like, you can give yourself a few days to finish this exercise. Carry a small notebook with you. And I would say, forget the notebook. If you have your WhatsApp, you make a group with yourself, just you. Write it down then. Write raat ko aake fair up kar lo, because you can't carry a book everywhere, right? So if you can, fabulous. If you're home, nothing like it. And here, let's jot down interesting things that pass the test. Then bring the list home with you and add the new entries to your big list in your daybook. And when you're done, sit back and take a long look at how much that paper you've covered up. If you didn't cheat, I'm betting you'll discover that you're probably truly interested in only a few dozen items, at the most 100 activities, possibly a little more, maybe. But not everything, nowhere near 1,000 things. And that means you've just scored a very big win in that game of what's possible. Because no one can do everything. हमें लगता है हमारी इंटरेस्ट हर जगह होता है, but actually नहीं. That's why we are now going to work on these lists with diligence, with a lot of ourselves into it. That's why we have not been able to do anything, because our energy was everywhere. But everyone can do many, 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 many things. Think about it. Maybe you don't have to feel stuck anymore. Maybe you're interested in many, many things that you might lead to add to some number every year, but it'll never exceed in real time the realm of possibility. Now, you can get started on the first one or two or three or four that are most easily within reach today, if you like, in the knowledge that you'll be able to do something with other activities on your list. And you've got a real chance of getting through most, maybe all of them. And a fine chance of actually feeling profoundly satisfied in every one of your interests. Incidentally, it's not a bad idea to open up another page in your scanner daybook or keep that notepad with you and start a list of all the things you don't want to do. It's amazing how satisfying this list will be as well. Every item you write down makes you feel better. Pole vaulting. Oh, good. I don't have to do that. That's it for today, Rahul sir. We will not go further. I want everyone to just work on that list. Are you clear of what we have to do in that list? जो भी हम लाइफ में चाहते हैं, अभी तक जो करना, अब करना, फ्यूचर में जहाँ इंटरेस्ट आएगा, we write that down. We write that down without thinking too much. But we write that down by trying to manifest ki how excited are we? Like close your eyes. Basically, the key to everything is just shutting yourself from this world where you can't see things and you're like in your eyes when it's closed. Okay, how do I feel about this? Right? Yes, if you want to learn swimming, write swimming and see, close your eyes and see how are you feeling about swimming. Okay, so everyone, today Rahul sir is having some problem with his computer, which he keeps coming up on and off, and I'm hoping and I'm praying that that problem will never happen again in future. So he's requested me not to do the yoga right now and to do by the end of it. I don't like to break the routine because I believe after 25 minutes to 30 minutes, we need some movement. But okay, sun salutations will happen a bit later because this is what he desires right now. So I'm sorry for this thing. I'm sure we're going to figure it out. So today we are back to back on this beautiful book, which I believe is the key for all possible learnings. So the book has already vanished. It was here, but it's vanished. So the book is called Letting Go, which we began yesterday. We read the preface. Day before was the foreword, then the preface. And right now we're going to Letting Go by David R. Hawkins. And it's about the first chapter, which is actually an introduction chapter. So what is this book all about is something that all of us need to understand. And this book is something back. Okay, so says the power is back. So we're in the magical world. When I say I don't want to do something which is not in my mood, here the power is back. So wonderful. All right, everyone. So let's do our sun salutations. 5:30, we start our letting go. How wonderful. Three sun salutations. Some of you who are not who are new to Surya Namaskar, they're guided videos for all of us.
The Surya Namaskar with mantras. Om Mitraye Namaha. Om Ravaye Namaha. Om Suryaye Namaha. Om Bhanave Namaha. Om Khagaye Namaha. Om Pushne Namaha. Om Hiranyagarbhaye Namaha. Om Marichaye Namaha. Om Adityaye Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Arkaye Namaha. Om Bhaskaraye Namaha. Salutations to the universal friend. Salutations to the resplendent sun. Salutations to the energy that induces activity within us. Salutations to the one who illumines. Salutations to the sun moving across the sky. Salutations to the giver of strength. Salutations to the golden cosmic self. Salutations to the Lord of the dawn. Salutations to the son of Aditi, the cosmic mother. Salutations to the benevolent mother. Salutations to the energy that we praise, and to the one who guides us to salvation. The sun salutation now with the names of the postures, both in Sanskrit and English. Pranamasan, Hastuthanasan, Padhahastasan, left leg back, Ashvasanchalanasan, Parvatasan, and hold this position. And now slowly progressing into the deeper version of Parvatasan, Adho Mukh Shvanasan. Ashtang Namaskar, Bhujangasan, Parvatasan. Left forward, Ashvasanchalanasan, Padahastasan, Hastuthanasan, Pranamasan. On the right side, prayer position, raised arms pose, hand to feet pose, right leg back, equestrian pose, mountain pose, hold mountain pose, and slowly moving into the deeper version of mountain, the downward facing dog. Salute with 8 limbs, Cobra. Press back to mountain. Right forward, equestrian pose. Hand to feet pose. Raised arms position. Prayer pose. One round of the sun salutation with awareness on the breathing. So exhaling our hands to the chest, pranam. Inhaling as we bend back. We exhale as we fold forward. Left leg back, inhale as we're arching back. Exhale into the forward. Hold the breath for knees, chest, chin. Inhale as we arch back. Exhale into the forward. Left leg forward, inhale. This is a back bend. Exhale whenever we bend forward. Inhale as we bend back. Exhale, hands to the chest. And on the right, deep breathing. Exhale. A deep inhale. A long exhale. Right leg back with an inhale. And exhale. Hold the breath. Inhale and exhale. Right leg forward with a deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale.
I feel it's very important for our energy to get again geared up with the sun salutations. So here we have taken blessings from our sun, and now we are going to let go. Very important for us to understand that letting go is one science which we haven't really understood till now. And this letting go is going to enable us, empower us, enliven us in our journey. And let's go for introduction. Chapter 1 from this beautiful book, Letting Go, The Pathway to Surrender by David Hawkins. Introduction. While in contemplation one day, the mind said, "What in the world is wrong with us? Why doesn't happiness stay put? Where are the answers? How do we address the human dilemma? Have I gone nuts or has the world gone crazy?" The solution to any problem seems to bring only brief relief, for it is the very basis of the next problem. Is a human mind a hopeless squirrel cage? Is everyone confused? Does God know what he's doing? Is God there? The mind just keeps chattering all along. Does anyone have the secret? Don't worry. Everyone's desperate. Some seem cool about it. I can't see what's of us all about, they say. Life seems simple to me, they say. They're so scared they can't even look at it. Very important for us to understand that we are in this judgmental world or denial world. Now, how about the experts? What do they say? Their confusion is more sophisticated, wrapped up in impressive jargon, elaborate mental construction, and they have predetermined belief systems into which they try to squeeze you. It seems to work for a while, and then it is just back to one's original state self again. It used to be that we could count on social institutions, but they've had their day. Nobody trusts them anymore. We now have more watchdogs and institutions. The hospitals are monitored by multiple agencies. Nobody has time for patients who gets lost in the shuffle, looked down the corridors. There are no doctors and no nurses. They are in the offices doing paperwork. The whole scene is dehumanized. Well, you say, there have to be some experts who have the answers. When upset, you go to a doctor, psychiatrist, or analyst, social worker, or an astrologer. You take up religion, you get philosophical, you could take probably Ed Hart seminars training. Maybe you tap yourself. We've done that, tapping into abundance, so maybe we start tapping. Or maybe we go for chakra balancing and we go for alignment and we try some reflexology, or we go for some ear-to-ear acupuncture. Maybe we do ideology, which which the irises of your eyes are healed with lights and crystals. Or maybe you meditate or chant a mantra. Maybe you drink green tea. Maybe you try Pentecostals. Maybe you breathe in fire. Maybe you speak in tongues. Maybe you get centered. You learn NLP, neuro-linguistic program. Maybe you try actualizations. Maybe you work on visualizations. Maybe you study psychology. Maybe you join the Jungian group. Maybe you get involved. Maybe psychedelics get a psychic reading. Maybe you jog. Maybe jazz exercise. Maybe you have colonics. Maybe you get into nutrition, aerobics, hang upside down, wear psychic jewelry, get more insight, biofeedback, gestalt therapy, and on and on and on. You may also go this and the doctor way, and you may try homeopathy, chiropractorship. Maybe you have naturopath. Maybe you know kinesiology. Maybe you go for enneagram types. Maybe get your meridians balanced. Join a consciousness raising group. Take tranquilizers. Basically, you get some hormone shots. Now try cell salts. Have your minerals balanced. Pray, implore, and beseech. You learn astral projection. You become a vegetarian. Maybe you eat only cabbage. Maybe you try macrobiotics. Maybe you go organic. Maybe you eat no GMO. Maybe you meet up with Native American medicine people, do a sweat lodge. Maybe you try Chinese herbs. Maybe you try moxie combustion. Maybe shiatsu, acupressure, feng shui. And if you come to our country, our beautiful India, maybe we find a new guru. Maybe we take off our clothes, we swim in the Ganges. Maybe we stare at the sun. Maybe we shave our head. Maybe we eat with our fingers, get really messy, shower in cold water. Maybe. Yes, Shivani, not the story of your life. A lot of people. That's what we all are. We've tried a lot of things. Maybe we sing tribal chants, relive past lives, try hypnotic regression, scream a primal scream, punch pillows, get Felons prides, maybe join a marriage encounter group, maybe you do unity, write affirmations, make a vision board, get rebirth, cast the I Ching, do the tarot cards, get rebirth, study Zen, take some more courses and workshops, read lots of books, do transactional analysis, get yoga lessons, get the occult, study magics, work with the kahuna, take a shamanic journey, sit under a pyramid, read Nostradamus, prepare for the worst. You maybe go on a retreat, try fasting, take amino acids, get a negative ion generator, join a mystery school, learn a secret handshake, try toning, try color therapy, try submilitives, maybe take enzymes, maybe antidepressants, maybe flower remedies, maybe you go to health spas, cook some exotic ingredients, maybe you look into strange fermented oddities from faraway places, maybe you go to Tibet, hunt up holy men, hold hands in a circle and get high. Maybe you renounce sex and going in for the movies, maybe you wear some yellow robes, maybe you join a cult. Try the endless varieties of psychotherapy. Take Wonder Drunk, subscribe to a lot of journals, try the Pritkin diet, eat some grapefruit, get your palm read, think new age thoughts, improve the ecology, save the planet, get an aura reading, carry a crystal, get a Hindu sidereal astrological interpretation, visit a trance medium, go for sex therapy, try tantric sex, get blessed by Baba, someday join an anonymous group, travel to Lourdes, soak in the hot springs, join Africa, Arica, wear therapeutic sandals, get grounded, get more prana, and breathe out the stale black negativity. Try golden needle acupuncture. Maybe check out snake gallbladders. Try chakra breathing, get your aura clean, meditate in Cheops, the great pyramid in Egypt. You and your friends have tried all of the above. I'm sure not all of the above, but pretty much substantially a part of a chunk of it. Oh, the human, you wonderful creature. Tragic, comic, yet so noble. Such courage to keep on searching. What drives us to keep looking for an answer is also the answer of suffering. We are suffering, so we're finding ways outside to help us get free from suffering. Oh, yes, hope, certainly. But there is something more than that. Intuitively, we know that somewhere there is an ultimate answer. We stumble down dark byways into cul-de-sacs and blind alleys. We get exploited and taken, disillusioned, fed up, and we keep on trying because we are hopeful. And we are hopeful that the answer that we are seeking lies outside and not internally. So we keep on trying. And जब हम कुछ नया शुरू करते हैं, excitement, oh my God, I'm doing this next best thing. You must try because you're so excited. That's how people are. That's how human beings are. Why can't we find the answer? Where is our blind spot? We don't understand the problem. That's why we can't find the answer. Maybe it's that ultra simple. And maybe that's why we can't see it. Maybe the solution is not out there, and that's why we can't find it. Maybe we have so many belief systems that we are blinded to the obvious. Throughout history, a few individuals have searched and reached great clarity and experienced the ultimate solution to our human woes. How did they get there? What was their secret? Why can't we understand what they had to teach? Is it really next to impossible or nearly hopeless? What about the average person who's not a spiritual genius? Multitudes follow spiritual pathways, but scarce are the ones who finally succeed and realize the ultimate truth. Everyone wants the ultimate truth. What is the ultimate truth? That, I find happiness. Oh, I'm content. Oh, I'm peaceful. Now, why is it only few go on that become successful in their journey? Why is that? We follow ritual and dogma and zealously practice spiritual discipline, and we crash once again. And when it works, the ego quickly comes in and we are caught in pride and smugness, thinking we have the answers. Oh Lord, save us from the right ones who have the answers. Save us from the righteous. Save us from the do-gooders. Confusion is our salvation. For the confused, there is still hope. Hang on to your confusion. In the end, it is still your best friend, your best defense against the deadliness of other answers, against being raped by the ideas. If you're confused, you're still free. If you're confused, this book is for you. So if all of you have been stuck into some kind of dilemma, ओके, ये भी कर रहे हैं, 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 या कुछ भी नहीं कर रहे हैं, या मैं क्या करूं क्या ना करूं, या मैं ये करता हूँ सक्सेसफुल नहीं होता, या आई गेट चीटेड, और दिस डजंट वर्क, सब कुछ ट्राई कर लिया बट कुछ भी नहीं मिलता, आई एम वेरी कंफ्यूज्ड. So this book is for all of us who are in that journey. And believe you me, if I say so, this book is absolutely like that. Probably the Kohinoor diamond, maybe. What's in this book? It tells us a simple method to reach great clarity and transcend your problems along the way. It's not about finding answers, but by undoing the basis of the problem. So प्रॉब्लम की जड़ पे पहुंचाएगा, रूट कॉज में पहुंचाएगा, प्रॉब्लम को खत्म कर देगा रूट से. सो इफ द प्लांट इज टॉक्सिक एंड यू क्लिपिंग ऊपर ऊपर से वो बढ़ेगा, फिर आप क्लिप कर रहे हो, बढ़ेगा, फिर आप क्लिप कर रहे हो, बढ़ेगा, फिर आप क्लिप कर रहे हो, तो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व नहीं होगी, कुछ जड़ पे नहीं पहुंचे हैं. This book will make each one of us reach our own problems if we're diligent and committed to reading this book. It's a mere 35 days. It's not too much. 1 month we can give, right? 1 month of 1 hour or half an hour. If you're just about this book, come at 5:30, because this book starts at 5:30. But if you want to refuse to choose, which is also a very beautiful book, which makes us understand why we don't choose what we should choose, which is life, you will really have a magical intervention, and then you will find a huge transformation. So better late than never. So those of you who've joined later, maybe this is the right time for you to come. You're going to end this year, start 2022, maybe with a new state of programming. Now, the state reached by the great sages of history is available. It's very much there. The solutions are within us and they're easy to find. The mechanism of surrender is simple and truth is self evident. It works during daily life. There's no dogma, there's no belief system. You verified everything for yourself, so you cannot be misled. There is no dependence on any teachings. It follows the dicta of know thyself. The truth shall set you free, says it's an old adage, right? The kingdom of God is within you. It works for cynic, the pragmatist, the religionist, the atheist. It works for any age or any cultural background. It works for the spiritual person and the non-spiritual person alike, because the mechanism is our very own. Nobody can take it away from us. We are safe from being disillusioned. You will find out for yourself that what is real and what are the mind's programs and belief systems. So one thing let's all understand. हम जैसे हैं, it's because of our old sanskars in the last life. Soul is common. Right now, I'm wearing a body of Komal Dago, Ainta Sheikh, right? Or maybe Prachi, I'm wearing a body of that. But my soul has traversed zillions of years ahead and zillions of years ahead, probably zillions of billion, maybe ahead. If I don't find that I become the light, then I still have light years ahead. But if I work in myself and clear myself of all karmic accounts, of all my old programming, of all my conventional belief system or societal belief system, if I stop complaining, if I stop criticizing, if I start applauding, appreciating, thanking, being grateful, then we are really going to make a huge difference in our minds and our being. And that is going to happen with this beautiful journey of this book. While all of this is going on, we'll become healthier, more successful, effortlessly. We'll be happier and we'll be more capable of real love. What do they mean by real love? Real love is probably the love between a mom and a child, especially the time when he or she is born. An unconditional bond. The tears well up when she sees the baby she's carrying for 9 months is now in the world. Of course, as she grows and the child grows older, it becomes a little conditional love also. वो मेरे लिए नहीं करता, ये वाला ज्यादा करता है, comparison आ जाता है. But that's true love. A child can get away with murder and the mother will still, forgive him. Spousal love will be still conditional. But a mother's love, as they say, is actual true love. And that true love, what if I start finding in all of you? What if I start saying, oh, we are one, it doesn't matter? And you say something nasty to me, I'm like, it's all right. That's your perception. It doesn't hit me. I've spoken about this many a times. Today I'm going to repeat myself again. So when Buddha went to a village, he was enlightened already. He'd become the Buddha. And then he went to a village and somebody's throwing like, you're this, you're this, you've taken away our boys from the village. They've all become monks. You've spoiled houses. You're just so bad. You don't even know. Could you've become a loser? You've left your kingdom and, you've renounced kingship and now you're here. You become a monk and a sage and you think, oh, you're the world and you're just this, and you're just that, and on and on and on. Now, there were three monks around him, junior bhikshus. They're like, why did you take all of this shit from them? You're enlightened, and why would you hear this nonsense? And Buddha says, he said, but I didn't hear. He said, it came from here and went from here. I take what I want to believe in. So if all of us can truly find that true love for ourselves, that if anybody says anything to me, I'm like, no, but I'm such a nice person. It doesn't affect because it's not who I am. What happens to us? Why are we so define? Somebody says, hey, you have a nasty nose, and you're going to look in the mirror and say, oh, my nose is not so nice. It's crooked. Or somebody says, hey, you have a bad behavior. You're like, oh yeah, I'm short tempered. Yeah. And you start becoming judge. You become judgy. So what is happening? You're living in a world of being judged and victimizing yourselves. And this high and dry state of yours is going to make you crash because you're so impressionable, you're so gullible, you're so vulnerable. You're allowing people to enter your aura and you do not know what is it to love yourself. So here in this beautiful book, we are going to discover that there's an automatic teacher within ourselves. We don't have to look for a teacher outside. These books are so beautiful. They're self-taught books, but just that we're doing it as a sangha gives us more energy and we can learn more because we can read together, understand the nuances of the fine lines of this book. We all can do this book together, but hota nahi na apne aap se because discipline nahi hota. So here I'm requesting sab kuch aapko thali mein parosa hua mil raha hai. At least come for this month. At least make the most of it. And what will happen? Eventually, we will discover our inner self. Eventually we'll unconsciously know that it was always there. Malum pad jayega. Now, when you come upon it, you will understand that the great sages of history were trying to convey the real truth which you never knew. You will understand it because truth is self-evident within your own self. Now, this book is written with love and light, okay? Lots of love, lots of light. The very two universal sources that we are born with. This book, the beautiful part about this book is written with you, with us, the readers, constantly in mind. It is easy, it's effortless, it's enjoyable, and there is nothing to learn or memorize. The best is kuch nahi yaad karna, kuch nahi karna, just listen to it like kuch mil raha hai. And ultimately, you will become lighter and happier as you read it. And you will stop judging, oh, it's sabke sath hota hai. Oh my God, that awakening. It's not me, everyone's having. Eureka, the aha moment. Oh, my problem is not my problem because it's everyone's problem. जहां मेरी ओनरशिप खत्म हुई, मैं हल्की हो गई. और अगर मेरी प्रॉब्लम है, आपको पता ही नहीं मेरी लाइफ में क्या चल रहा है, आपकी लाइफ अलग है, मेरी लाइफ में प्रॉब्लम्स है. I have the problems. And then, oh my God, my energy is heavy. But वो सामने बोलती है कि अरे, this is मेरी प्रॉब्लम तो इसमें भी ये है. रुचि बोलती है इसमें भी आगे ये है. मनीष बोलता है मेरी भी प्रॉब्लम है. एकदम से लगा रहे, it's okay. Because you're becoming lighter. And that's what this book will intend to make us all do. It'll automatically start bringing up new experiences of freedom as we read through the pages. We're going to feel weights being removed. So imagine, like right now, I'm wearing a very heavy jacket. Imagine how will it feel on my shoulders when the jacket is off. I'm like, summers aati hai, so kyun maza aata hai? Because all those wintry clothes are going away. Imagine how much of that pressure we have on our body. How much of conditioning, how much of self-judgment, how much of self-belief. Oh, this is right, this is not right. How many times are we saying, मुझे ये problem है? हम problems को own कर लेते हैं. हम क्यों नहीं बोल सकते, I'm going through this problem, and then it will be gone, going through and gone. So we are going to be enjoying the weights being removed. We're going to feel lighter. Everything we'll start doing will become more enjoyable because you are in for some happy surprises about your life. Things are going to get better and better and best. And it's okay to be skeptical. We've been taken down this primrose path before, so be as skeptical as you like. In fact, it's good to be skeptical. Agar pata hi hai ki it's going to be a sure thing, बहुत देखा है रे, बहुत आए हैं, बहुत सुना है, बहुत बुक्स पढ़ी, कुछ नहीं होता अल्टीमेट। कुछ टाइम की बात होती है, उसके बाद खत्म हो जाता है. So very important to understand that. Indeed, it's advisable to avoid gushing enthusiasm. It is set up for a letdown later. Therefore, rather enthusiasm, quiet observation will serve you better. Now we will be observing. Is there such a thing as something for nothing in this universe? Oh, yes, most certainly there is. It's your own freedom which you have forgotten and don't know how to experience. I don't know how many of you remember reading or writing or seeing that back in the history of India, there were sages and there were people who would just lift themselves up in the sky and reach from one place to another place. Why were they like this? Because they knew the truth. They did not have limiting thinking. Arey, main to uth nahi sakta. I can't go up. I have to be in a flight or a helicopter to go up. I'm not a bird. So we do not know how beautiful, wonderful we all are. What is being offered to you is not something that has to be acquired. It is not something that is new or outside of yourself. It is already yours and merely has to be reawakened and rediscovered. It will merge of its own nature. So ये बुक ना कोई नया नहीं है इसमें, बट नया ये है कि जो आप भूले बैठे हो वो आपको उससे वापस मिला रहा है, यथार्थ मिला रहा है. एंड इन फ्यूचर you will be living as a whole and complete person, not dependent on any therapists, not dependent on any teachers, on any psychiatrists, philosophers, and whatever we've heard of in 3 pages of Babel, which we've been going through. Because we are finding something, so we're like, ये भी कर लो, ये भी कर लो, ये भी कर लो, ये भी कर लो. हमें पता ही नहीं जहां से फाइंड करना शुरू किया वहीं पर तो सब कुछ है and हम जा रहे हैं बाहर. So this book is very simple, very beautiful. It's going to take us inside. The purpose of sharing this approach is merely to put you in touch with your own inner feelings and experiences. In addition, there is much more helpful information in this book that will allow our mind to know what it should know and what it should know and wants to know. This process of surrender will begin automatically. And hence, it is the nature of a mind to seek relief from pain and suffering and experience greater happiness. So, why do all of us feel, अच्छा कभी देखा है बीमारी को? बीमारी कब होती है? जब आप खाली बैठे होते हैं, खाली दिमाग चला के दिमाग. When you're free, you're like absolutely, you're like, and the minute you're busy, something interesting comes up which you want to do. बीमारी सब खत्म. Mind is all free. You're set free because you have a purpose in front of you and you like liking what you're doing. So it's very important to allow ourselves to be who we are in the right state and not be frantically available and be gullible by people saying, oh, let's do this, and you do it. So tomorrow is yet another beautiful day. And there we will learn the mechanisms of letting go. So we've heard enough about it. Tomorrow, the real journey starts. Today was all about introduction, letting you know what this book's content is all about. Tomorrow, we begin a new journey, a new day on this thankful Thursday. And let's understand what magics are going to come our way. Today, we are in this beautiful journey of reading Rod Judkins' book, One Chapter a Day, which brings us to some kind of a reality check. This book's name is very beautiful, just the way all of you are. It's called The Art of Creative Thinking. And you know something, for those of you who are not familiar, every action we take has thousands of feelings behind it. And every feeling we feel has thousands of thoughts behind it. They say on a very modest level that a human being is a feeling being. And this human that we are has 86,400 thoughts, or say ballpark 100,000 thoughts a day. And in this world of thoughts, it depends upon us. How are we channeling them? And every thought is creative. अगर प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन भी करते हैं वो भी क्रिएटिव है ना. ये हो गया तो कैसे करेंगे, फलान ढमकान हो गया तो. जंपिंग बियॉन्ड द गन, पता ही नहीं क्या होने वाला है, फिर भी राई का पहाड़ बना दिया. So this book is telling us that we are all very, very creative And we can all think more creatively if we channel the energy in the right fashion. So today is chapter is beautiful. It's about searching highs and lows in our life. Rod Judkins says, I thought I saw someone vandalizing a Jeff Koons sculpture. It was late evening in New York. The man was wearing what looked like a surgeon's smock and a fluorescent orange hard hat. He moved with jerky, manic, intense gestures. I should have known better, but I could stop myself. I was compelled to intervene. The Coon sculpture was Puppy, a giant West Highland terrier made of flowers. So, a lot of you are not familiar with the examples Rod Judkins gives. They're not Indian familiar, the psyche, but that's okay. Don't understand, don't judge yourself. Just allow yourself to flow. So, here they're talking about a coon sculpture, which was like called a puppy. Now, this puppy combined the two sugary, sentimental themes of flowers and puppies. Kuhn stated that this gory monster was a symbol of love, warmth, and happiness. It towered 40 feet above me, 23 tons of soil covered in steel structure, swathed in 70,000 red, orange, white, pink flowering petunias, begonias, and chrysanthemums. It was midway through construction and the workers had left the site unattended. Close up, I could see the man's darting, frenzied eyes as he moved the plants around agitated movements. So this man is very intense. He's super intense. Now, Puppy was a distillation of American culture, big, bright, colorful, popular, and seriously crazy. Art aficionados spent hours pondering its meaning. Others simply laughed and enjoyed it. Unlike much contemporary art, it reached out to viewers and they responded. Koons used kitsch and vulgar sculptures to challenge the accepted aesthetic taste of the highbrow. He constantly stretches and amplifies kitsch and tasteless trash and rubs the noses of exclusive art world patrons in it. The high scale of his sculptures made them unavoidable. He has put gaudy kitsch in the most rarefied museums on the planet. Puppy now stands permanently outside the Guggenheim Music in Bilbao. The crazy vandal. By the way, of course, turned out to be Jeff Koons. A perfectionist, he was working late, attending to details. He was friendly, warm, and asked if I liked to place a few flowers. Now, creative thinkers like Koons mock the idea of high and low culture, good or bad culture. For them, everything is great. They don't consider an episode of The Simpsons to be better or worse than a Shakespeare play. Each has qualities. They see the bright side in every little thing, all right? So that's why they are the creative thinkers, because everything is good. They see no incompatibility between being tuned into JZ 1 minute and Marla the next. If we dismiss low culture, we are missing out on this huge area of life. So, again, one thing to take back from this is let's try to see the brighter side in every little picture we see, because that'll make us more creative. When we are thankful, when we're grateful, and we see the brighter side, we become much more creative thinkers. Clunes blurred the lines between kitsch and the high art. Rock and roll started off firmly in the low category, but bands like Pink Floyd completely erased the wall between high and low music. Now, the terms highbrow and lowbrow come from the popular scientists of phrenology that boomed in the late 19th century. The shape of a skull was used to identify intelligence. A high forehead signified intelligence. ये आज इंडिया में भी चल रहा है चौड़ा माथा है तो अरे बहुत पढ़ेगा you know these are just philosophies which have come from some culture or another. Could be West, East, North, South, not much of relevance. Many people say this is from our country, this is from our country. We do not know. There was a time there were no boundaries and no borders, everything was one, then became continents, then became stuff. It started happening later, boundaries created later. I, me, and mine became much later. This egoistic world came in much later. Initially, it's all about oneness, and that's what we're all reaching back. Now, the real science has completely discredited phrenology, but its ideas linger on. You can't think creatively if you have elitist attitude. Snobbery is a straitjacket. So, अगर हम सोचते हैं कि अरे मेरे को तो सब कुछ आता है, क्या बकवास चल रही है, मॉर्निंग में टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हैं. सो ऑफ कोर्स आपका एलिटिस्ट एटीट्यूड है ना कि अरे मेरे सब कुछ मैं तो ज्ञान माता ज्ञान पिता अरे आई नो इट ऑल आई मिस्टर नो इट ऑल आई मिस नो इट ऑल. And then you become snobs, you become spiritual snobs. Some people are spiritually so bolte hain bahut advanced ho gaye but they are snobs because they're like अरे हमको सब पता है. So where are we resonating in this world? What are we learning? Where are we moving on? As well as seeing the value in things that aren't generally valued, creative thinkers also see the value in people who aren't valued. So, what are we learning in this process of searching high and low? That in high, also, there are people to be valued or things to be valued. In low, also, there are people to be valued and things to be valued. Now, try to tease out the potential in everyone because they know that no one has a monopoly on creativity. Can anyone say that I am more creative than you? Can anyone compare? What is the comparison definition level? Success. Will that be making you say so? In 1982, Craig Good was not valued by society. He'd done a variety of jobs and currently unemployed. He applied for a janitorial and security job in Pixar's General Services Department. Scrubbing toilets was a main task. If you want to learn about a lot about a company, being a janitor is a pretty good way to do it, says Good. Pixar at that point was still a departmental in the department with Lucasfilm. They offered an after-work programming course to any company employees. Good attended and was soon moved to the company's computer division. Good eventually became a camera artist at Pixar, a job he did for 30 years. He was famous for his work in Toy Story, Finding Nemo, and Monsters Incorporation. Good's career was proof that Pixar valued all employees for their potential, no matter what their position. One of the characteristics that made Pixar is a very rare and important one is that the corporate culture reorganized the contributions can come from everybody, anybody, any place, anytime. And that's a corporate culture. कोई भी value addition कर सकता है. You don't have to have a tag to add value to the company. Now, Pam Kerwin, Pixar's vice president, he says, Pixar screens each numerous times for everyone in the company while it is for production invites anyone to make suggestions. It has the effect of making everyone feel valued. To develop a strong creative workplace, people need to feel comfortable expressing their ideas. Now tell me, अगर आप या आपका बच्चा या anybody close to you can't open up and speak to you comfortably, what kind of workplace or what kind of a dwelling have you given him or her or yourself? What is stopping you from expressing? Now, if you need to develop that strong creative workplace, first start with you. Stop, stop, stop judging people. Stop telling them. I know it's very tough, it's not easy, but if we practice what we preach, it's going to become much more easier than we think. Many Pixar employees have left to start businesses of their own and transferred that attitude to great new revolutionary products and vigorous teams. Many have gone into non-art and design areas such as manufacturing, service industries, and retail. They have proved that creative thinking will benefit any company. And all of us are creative thinkers, whether we know it or whether we don't know it. Creative thinkers put aside the value judgments that affect the rest of society. So अगर मैं जज करती रहूंगी कि मैं ऐसी हूँ, वो ऐसा है, वो ऐसा है, वो ऐसा है, so I am becoming a judger. I'm not a creative thinker. I'm a creative thinker even then, but I'm not going for the evolution. I'm not going for my growth because that time I'm trying to embrace being judgmental. And that word in itself has a mental word, which means it's mentally challenged. Now, creative thinkers don't assume that because everyone thinks something is worthless, it's actually worthless. They're able to see things more clearly, assess them according to their own values. So let's all of us find highs and lows and find blessings in them. Let's all of us try and shift our attitude to becoming an embracer from being a judger. Embrace everything, the way everything as is. Of course, you want someone to improve in your life for their good thing, and that's okay. कि भाई तुम अगर स्मोकिंग करते हो तो तुम्हारे लिए बुरा है, तुम छोड़ दो. Then you're not accepting the smoker in him, but you're saying छोड़ दो because it'll be nice for you and for the environment. But if you're saying I hate smoking, मुझे प्रॉब्लम होती है, मुझे अस्थमा हो जाता है, I can't breathe, I can't do this, and that's why you leave, then I'm becoming a judger. So are you operating from the world of love or judgment? Depends completely upon you. I'm not saying accept everything as is. society में चल रहा है corruption and you accept it. Yes, but if can you do something about it? If you can do something about it, voice yourself. Otherwise, you're just wasting your energy in something just futile. If you're going to talk about corona in your houses or this variant or that variant, can you do something about it except for wearing your mask and being safe? If you can't, why waste your energy in something so worthless? And remember the law of attraction. Whatever you concentrate on expands. So if you're expanding on a pandemic, it's going to expand. Think about your highs and lows. Think about your attitude. Think about your shift. This is a very beautiful chapter which makes us think that sab kuch possible hai. Just when he wants to be creative, everything is possible. Look at the journey of somebody who just started where and where, gone on to where. Erwin Berlin says, our attitudes control our lives. Attitudes are a secret power working 24 hours a day for good or bad. It is of paramount importance that we know how to harness and control this great force. And this is the crux of the entire chapter. आपका attitude क्या है? आपकी secret power क्या है? Blessing की या criticism की? 24/7 चलता है, आप सो रहे हैं तभी भी चलता है. It's of integrity, it's importance, it was big time importance that you know where to channel your energy because you have this huge power and this huge force within you. Thank you, Rahul sir, for showcasing this third book for the morning. And now we're going to be doing our heart thought. I'm not sure what the heart thought is coming our way, but it's going to be a blessing as always because it always comes in synchronicity with what we're learning. So whoever wishes to read can please raise your hand. And it's nice to see half of you with cameras on and half of you with cameras off. So yes. All right. So those of you who are struggling with any kind of problems, overweight can also be seen as over binger of anything. These days, binging is very much talked about, especially when it comes to the OTT platforms. You're binging on Netflix or this or that or that or that. So please read overweight as over binger also. And the heart thought is, I am safe and secured in my world. Now, if we have any compulsive habit in any area, instead of thinking how terrible we are, let us realize that there is some need in our consciousness to have this condition or it would not be there. In simple language, कुछ भी अगर compulsively आप watch कर रहे हो, चाहे आपके Facebook, Instagram रील्स चल रही हैं, चाहे आपके YouTube में कुछ सेशंस चल रहे हैं, चाहे आप too much of spirituality भी अगर कर रहे हो, if you're binging on that also, or anything that you're binging on, even eating, whatever, any compulsive habit, क्यों है? Because there's a reason in your consciousness, subconsciousness, and you need to see it because you haven't learned the lesson from it. So rather than saying, oh, I'm so terrible, I'm hooked on to this, oh, मुझसे छूटता ही नहीं, embrace it. Okay, this is a part, it's a phase, chal raha hai, it'll die on its own death. Acceptance, welcoming. So yes, Dr. Kamakshi, please read this entire heart thought for us.
Morning. I'm safe and secure in my world. Overweight has always meant protection. When you feel insecure or frightened, you pat yourself with protection. Most of you spend your time being angry at yourself for being fat and have guilt over food. Weight has nothing to do with the food. There is something going on in your life that is making you feel insecure. You can fight fat for 20 years and still be fat because you have not dealt with the cause. If you are overweight, put the weight issue aside and work for the other issue first. The pattern that says, I need protection, I'm insecure. Don't get angry when the weight goes on because our cells respond to our mental patterns. When the need for protection is gone, or when we start feeling secure, the fat will melt off by itself. Begin to say, I used to have a problem with weight. You will begin to shift the pattern. What you choose to think today will start creating your new figure tomorrow. Thank
I
you.
also let this page be here. Thank you, Dr. Kamakshi, for reading. So please understand, there is something going on in your life that is making you feel insecure, whether it is insecurity over a relationship with your partner, whether it's insecurity with you yourself, whether it's insecurity about your body, your image, your complexion, your hair, whatever you are having an issue with, you have to understand why am I having an issue with, and for that why, firstly you have to accept that हाँ मुझे इस प्रॉब्लम में गुजर रही हूँ एंड मुझे इस प्रॉब्लम को धीरे धीरे समझना है, खत्म नहीं करना है, समझना है, समझने के बाद उसका सोल्यूशन निकालना है, rather than saying कि ये आएगा और ये मेरी लाइफ में सोल्यूशन निकाल दे देगा मुझे और प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी खत्म. We are dependent on people, so the problem expands. The day we become independent, we start accepting the solution मेरे अंदर है और इस प्रॉब्लम से मैंने क्या सीखा, वाकई में मुझे ये प्रॉब्लम चाहिए इसलिए प्रॉब्लम आती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल कई लोग के साथ बहुत गुस्सा होते हैं, राइट? वो क्यों होते हैं? बिकॉज वो उन्होंने गुस्सा अट्रैक्ट किया है, उनको कुछ सीखना है उससे, और वो नहीं सीखते हैं तो गुस्सा वो लोग बार बार फेस करते हैं. सो वेरी 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 इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट प्रॉब्लम्स आर ओनली देयर फॉर अ रीजन एंड प्रॉब्लम्स विल फेड व्हेन यू स्टार्ट शिफ्टिंग योर पैटर्न. So what we choose today to think will create our new future tomorrow, including a figure or a clean skin or whatever, whatever, whatever. Thank you, Rahul sir. I request everyone to rename themselves if they want blessings. Like I see Jitendra ji having Shashi ji written. It doesn't work because when I'm blessing, I will be reading the name. I can't always register the person's face. Similarly, there's somebody called 121. If you want blessings, please rename yourself as your first name. Surnames don't matter to me, but the first names matter because blessings are going to come straight away there. So thank you, Akshay, in advance for recording our meditation. And let's go for it. If there's anything that you want to specifically meditate about, you can put in the chat box so that I can intertwine that also in the session. And let's just go for it. A lot of love and light. Let's take a deep breath in. And out. In. Out. Inhale. Exhale. Life is magical. Life is beautiful. Life is a blessing. I am blessed. You are blessed. The world is blessed. Each one of us is in a pursuit of happiness. Happiness that is there deep within us. Because each one of us is now reincarnated on Mother Earth with lots of love and lots of light. But as we grew up, let's understand that everyone around us was also in some kind of a behavioral pattern because of the conducive learning for societal thinking, because of their belief system, because of their sanskars from this life or the past. And let's not victimize ourselves and blame anybody for this. We have learned what they have learned. Let's start saying that I trust the process of life. Please say that out loud wherever you're seated. I trust the process of life. Whatever comes in my life is coming for a reason. Whatever comes in my life is coming for a reason. It may be for my good or highest good, but it can never be for anything bad. That's my belief, and I know it. Whenever a problem comes in my life, all I have to do is go inward, close myself from the world, and ask my higher self for the divine intervention, the divine solution. And I must know, I must believe that whatever I ask with my belief will be given to me at the right time and at the right place. Because the divine guidance knows much more than I can see with my not so wide eyed camera. The divine can see a 360-degree view of mine, up, down. I don't even know how much I am where I am. I have made a projection of my life. But the truth is, my life is beautiful. And I am discovering magics in my life every single day with my belief. My belief that whatever is coming in my life is coming for a reason, is coming for a purpose. And that purpose is for me to meet myself, for me to understand how magical I am, how intuitive I am. If I get an intuition, it's meant to be followed. Why do I procrastinate? Why do I stall the energy? Why do I doubt the guidance? Because I am allowing logic to go over magic. This logic has come in my mind because I think that's my logic. But if I look at the logic, it may not work with everyone else. I believe this does well for me, but that probably same doesn't do well for the others. So that's my conditioning. I am a person who's born with this beautiful superpower, who's blessed with this law of attraction. Whatever I believe, whatever I feel, the trillions of cells in my body respond to that feeling. If I'm holding on to any sorrow, made somebody abusing me abusing my body for whatever XYZ reasons, I have a need to learn that lesson. And I feel those feelings, and hence my trillions of cells react. Now, if I see a huge, beautiful meal in front of me, and all I feel is immense gratitude for everything that's gotten the meal on the table, from the person who served, to the person who cooked, to the person who's cut the vegetables, or whatever, to the person who's brought them from the backyards or from towns or from villages into our city. If I'm grateful and I'm like, oh my God, what a beautiful meal, or whatever, that meal will never make me put on weight. And I will be only eating that beautiful meal with gratitude and only that much how much my body requires. I will not be binge eating because I know the spiritual food, the spiritual energy of the food is what my body takes. A little bit, but a world of taste and good feelings. I automatically can't feel good. I know that. But I have been blessed with tools for feeling good. Whenever I feel low, all I have to do is start counting my blessings and start thinking of that one person who gives me that abundant joy. It could be my child, it could be anyone else. When I think of him or her, or the situation that made me so happy, and I put my hand in my heart, all I feel is abundant, unconditional love. And when I operate from that feeling of love, my feelings have changed. So whenever I feel low, which I will feel low in my life because I'm a human being, I'm a feeling being. But I know by now that I can shift my energy, my focus from expanding the negative to expanding the positive, wherein the negative will shrink automatically. I believe that I know that life has my back. Whatever I ask, whatever I believe, I definitely receive. And having said that, all of us are tuned in the same oneness, the same bandwidth. So let's first empathize, have compassion, have love for ourselves, and then see the magic spread from ourselves to others. Let's become the channels of love and light. Let's become the channels of abundance. And let's embrace an attitude of gratitude by bowing our heads in front of Mother Earth. Dharti Ma, Janani Janmabhoomi, Prithvi Ma, Sister Gaia of the Maharishis. Thank you, thank you, thank you for empowering me, enlightening me with your beautiful values that you're nurturing me with to the roots in my feet. The feet are growing taller, broader, deeper in you, allowing me to become a person of substance, more grounded, more humble, more compassionate, more kind, more unconditional love feeler, giver, receiver, more blessed, more abundant. A person who sees more light than darkness and who knows that dark times will come, but only a small little light, a torch of light, a flame can extinguish the darkness around. I know it and I believe it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's look at the eye level and thank the wonderful life lessons and experiences we've lived and loved and cherished and hated in our this life or our past lives. Let's ask for forgiveness consciously, unconsciously, knowingly, unknowingly. Whatever I have done wrong to anybody, please forgive me. Knowingly, unknowingly, I may have finished off lives. While speaking, there could be these little trillions of floating organisms that I can't see. And maybe my whiff of breath makes them die. So I apologize to you because that is unknowingly done. And there's no way for me to not do it. Of course, if I wear a mask, I'll minimalize it. But I apologize. Forgive me. And let's forgive everyone and anyone who has ever done anything wrong to us, which was our opinion. It was our perspective of seeing that wrong has been done to us. Let's forgive those people. Let's start a new karmic account. We do not want to move in our life ahead with more karmic baggage. So, dear Lord, dear God, dear universe, help me align my thoughts and clear off my karmic accounts with whoever I'm holding them on to. Let me learn my lessons in this lifetime of mine and become a person who finds enlightenment or who starts living life with love and light. So be it. So it is. Let's open our hands to the universe above and thank our universe for having our back, for guiding us, protecting us, saving us, gracing us with your presence, your divine blessings, with the guidance and teachings of all the gurus, all the coaches, all the angels, all the guardians. Let's fold our hands and be grateful for a minute for everything. Drop them together. Bless your head, conscious mind, subconscious mind, your brain, your thinking. Thank you for reconditioning, reprogramming, reworking, unlearning, and learning. Bless your face, the five senses of seeing, feeling, believing, hearing, speaking. Your neck, your shoulders, arms, upper back, middle back, lower back, your hips, your excretory organs, your back of your thighs, your knees, back of your knees, your backside calves, soles of feet from where the roots are growing in Mother Earth. Thank them. And if you wish, you can put the roots together back in you to be more grounded, yet free. Now, bless your calves, your knees, thighs, sexual organs, your entire gut area with the intestines, gallbladder, kidney, uterus, stomach. Bless your lungs, for you are breathing so beautifully. Bless your heart for growing abundant every day, for your heart to grow more in love. And now bless each other with the beautiful energy that's flowing in your body, thanks to all the wonderful organs that are working so well. This beautiful cosmic energy that you are right now wrapped in, having elevated your experiences, your emotions, your feelings. Yitendraji, Meenakshi, Ruchi, Manish, Bharat, Alona, Pratimaji, Akshay, Vijayji, Meetu, Seemaji, Prachi, Kamakshi, Anita, Asmeet, Suenderji, Richa, Komal, Rahul Sir, Amrita Ma'am, Ritu, Supriya, Saloni, Sonakshi, Peena, Seema, Shami, Ankur, Neha, to all the virtual participants and to all sentient beings. May there be love, may there be light, may there be a lot of blessings. Be blessed. Any reflections on today, what we learned, some takeaways, or any sharings, any questions? If yes, you can raise your hand. If no, we'll meet each other at 5 tomorrow morning. By now, we've come to a pretty beautiful journey, almost clicking off to 90 days in this third series. And a lot of us have been in from second series and first series also. So I think our mind is pretty much programmed to acceptance, to evolution. So more power to us as we grow every single day infinitely. So thank you, thank you, thank you for making my morning magical with your presence and with your beautiful smiles. I love them all. It's lovely to see all of you. So thank you for radiating your energy. God bless us all. Let today be an absolute wonderful Wednesday. More love, more light, more abundance. Be blessed. Thank you.